So hello guys and welcome again to the channel. So this is probably our first standard deck tech discussion, including the new set or the new upcoming set, Aetherdrift. So we have one particular card preview that was done last few days. So this card is what they call as the Lifecraft Engine. So this is the new version of our vehicle that got me interested in seeing that it can basically act as a anthem effect by choosing a creature type as it enters. So you can see here, choosing creature type, vehicle creatures you control are the chosen type in addition to their other types, and then each creature you control the chosen type other than this vehicle gets +1/+1 and has crew 3 to become activated as a creature. So in a way that has got me thinking was what would be the possible deck, since we've noticed that there are really a lot of tribal decks currently in the standard format, though some of which are not really that top tier in terms of deck build. But of course we need to be like creative in making this kind of deck to make sure that of course we have to make or have fun playing this game. So I thought that Merfolk would be the possible build, one of the possible, given that it's not basically an ideal, but having also a list that we can present today. So I call this build as the Simic Merfolk vehicles for the upcoming Aetherdrift standard. So notice that this is only the new card in this set, but probably this would still be updated once the new card spoilers are being revealed now in the coming days. So for now, we have a rundown of this build. We have 27 creatures, 3 enchantments, 8 artifacts, which are basically vehicles, and 22 lands. So along with the Lifecraft Engine, we have also considered Subterranean Schooner to have as a semi 2-drop in this build, which can have this effect that whenever it attacks target creature that crewed it this turn, explore. So in a way, this is sort of the card draw effect for you to just filter out your card draw of your lands and make sure that you can also draw the needed card in certain situations. So what also goes with this, crewing these creatures or these vehicles with your creatures, are this card that can get you more creatures on the board. So Deeproot Pilgrimage is from Ixalan. Whenever one or more non-token creatures or Merfolk you control becomes tapped, you will create a 1/1 blue Merfolk creature token with Hexproof. So in a way that this curve would turn out, the more that you can tap all of your creatures to crew these vehicles, the more that you can benefit having this board or free creature generator by this enchantment Deeproot Pilgrimage. So now we'll look at the rundown of the cards. Let's start by sorting the mana cost. Okay, here. So we have 7 1-drops here. Notice we have 3 Synod Scout. So this is 1/1 particularly that becomes a 2/2 if you get to explore that the non-land card would be revealed in your top card with library. And then we have from Murder Skull Manor, Mistway Spy. This is a 1/1 flying Merfolk, but this is ability that can be disguised. So if you're able to disguise this and then you pay 2 to face up, you get this effect that whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, investigate. So in the late game, this can be a very good way for you to get these clue tokens as a card effect, so that you can have some ways to draw some extra cards and get back into the game if possible, or draw more of your creature stats. And also, Mockingbird is 2 copies. This is not particularly a Merfolk because it goes well with just copying your anthem effects, or you can copy any other Merfolk, utility Merfolks that we'll discuss in a bit, into this one and have this also an effect that it can also become a bird in flying. And certain situations and scenarios, this creature can be very useful to this kind of deck setup. And for your 2-drops, we have 4 copies of Drunken's Thunder. This is popular in the Dimir midrange decks and has a Merfolk subtype, as you will notice. You can wait tap out your opponent's creature with the stun counter and then use this ability to shuffle that creature into their owner's library. And of course, it's somewhat kind of a removal effect in this kind of creature that can also act as a Merfolk attacker with the vigilance and flash for combat tricks. And added also Harbinger of Tides. This is a reprint card, though it was also a Merfolk effect. When this creature enters, you may return target top creature and opponent controls to its owner's hand. The good way of this is that you can pay 2 extra to have it flash. So in the late game also, they can also be very good way to tap combat tricks from your opponent, as well as also having a 2-drop for early turn if you needed to have this to outtempo your opponents. And that we have, of course, our anthem effect with an hex structure that can also be used to flash in and do some pumps in needed for instance combat tricks, and can be used to sacrifice a Merfolk to counter target non-creature spell. So in a way, you can be very safe to counter hard spells such as Sunfall or any late game non-creature spells that your opponents may cast. And that with your 3 drops, we have a few choices here. So first up is Kiora, the Rising Tide, also considered only 1 copy, but it has ability that can also get you to draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards and maybe fix your hand. But the good thing here is that if you get to be able to threshold, and with this deck's various explore effects, you can get to have this ability to create Scion of the Deep as an added very good threat on 8/8 creature with the your token Octopus. And that with the explore effect, because creating map tokens will also be a good way for this deck. We have 3 copies of the Sentinel City, which is again also another Merfolk. It's a good body of 3/4, much more if being pumped with the anthem effect, it becomes a 4/5 vigilance, and also can create map tokens to pump up your other creatures with this tokens. And that also, combat tricks will also be very good in this deck. So we have Tishana Sidebinder, that's 3 copies in the deck. Some also to counter activated or triggered abilities and disables some of their opponent's creatures or artifacts. And then this again, your Deepwood Pilgrimage to get to generate this 1/1 Merfolk tokens. Let even so, if you just attack, you're just also basically creating these tokens for free. With this, given that they are also hexproof, which are pretty much very hard to deal with, so they would really need to deal with the Lifecraft engine or the Woodalian hex catcher to make sure that your other Merfolks would be lessened in power and toughness. And last but not least are your lands. You can just basically have this mana fix of your Coast and Botanical Sanctum. Also, Cavern of Soul is still legal and standard, so we have 4 copies of the deck naming Merfolk as its creature type. And also make sure that your Merfolks will resolve against counter spells. And we just added 2 manlands here with Les's Vinestock as a late game plan to have another creature on the board. And that's totaling with the basic lands. You have a total of 22 lands in the main deck. I think this kind of setup would suffice, because we have several ways to explore, and also to that be able for you to have some card effects with this one. So not really missing your land drops, you can just draw them up with the effect of the Explore. And let's check on the stats. It's mostly blue with this 31 and 6 only for green, but production is pretty much even because of course Sanctum, Cavern of Souls, and Yabimaya cost would be really efficient in going to do with your mana fix in the late game. So you don't really have enough top lands, only 2 Restless Vinestock as your hindrance in that. And then average mana value is 2.05. We have a lot of 2 drops here, 9 1 drops, but only 3 for the 11. Basically, your highest would be 3. In your sideboard, maybe you can have 4 or 5 mana cost. That would also depend on their matchups pertaining to late game or mid range or control matchups in the deck. And last but not the least, we'll check on some of the tokens. So here we have Clue token that can be generated by the Mist Veil, Map token of course for the Explore effects by the Sentinel, Merfolk tokens. These are the tokens generated by the Tide, the enchantment, whenever you tap an untoken Merfolk, and then Scion of the Deep generated by Kiora. So basically, I think this would be the first tribal that kind of what I think is fixed or aligned to what the Lifecraft engine would really benefit to. Given that this is also a threat on its own, it gets to pump your other creatures, making sure that the crew 3 requirement would be really easy for you to have this one as an added creature threat, and just basically curve out with the rest of your creatures. And if you have seen a similar list, or you're planning also to have this one in your deck card pool, or your setup in your arena or MTG Online, just let me know in the comments below so that we can have a good discussion of this. Let's see what would be the possible deck build, or what other card options that we can have. Can we have more main deck counter spells, or any other wrapping up of this build? Just let me know in the comments below so we can have a good discussion. So I think that's pretty much it for this one. Again, Simic Merfolk vehicles for Aetherdrift Standard deck tech. Don't forget to like, subscribe. We can still have more of this discussion as more cards from the new set are being revealed in the coming days. So just stay tuned for this one so we can have more episodes similar to this, and sharing of ideas will really helpful for you guys to brew these new decks for the standard format. And guys, thank you for watching. Notifications bell, please do like and subscribe, and I would really appreciate it. And see you guys on the next video.